everyone, Eloise here. First I'm going to demonstrate the movement, and then we'll go over the assessment, and then we'll go over the purpose and the pros and cons. So today we're going to go over the assessment of the single leg star balanced excursion test. So I obviously in a house right now. I'm using rulers on the floor. Ideally you would be in a gym setting, or you would be somewhere where you could have extended lines on the frontal, sagittal, and then diagonals for the transverse plane. And then two people, so one practitioner and then your individual who is doing the assessment. And so starting off, you're going to have instruct the individual to put their foot, whichever foot's going first, in the middle of your star setup, right? And then from there to find their quote-unquote balance threshold, you're going to direct them to drive their knee or in line with their toes and squat down as much as they can to find that end range of motion that they can handle for the balance for the test. From here, you'll instruct them to have their free leg touch starting off in the line in front of them, tap the ground, and then the practitioner would measure how far they go on the line. From there, instructed to tap all the way around the circle, side, back, other side, and then across, back to the front, and across. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like this. So two faults need to be considered when going over this assessment. One fault would be if the individual, instead of tapping their foot on the line, if they lay down pretty hard on the line, instruct them to go back to find their balance threshold and then redo that line. Second fault would be just as if the person lost their balance threshold and their rooting leg, and then came down, and then instruct them to go back and find their balance threshold again in the middle. So, purpose, straight out of our NASM textbook, we have the assessment measures dynamic balance and neuromuscular efficiency of your testing your rooting leg. It also establishes an objective range of motion measurements during closed chain functional movements. So those range of motion measurements, if you have a ganometer on hand, you can use those to find different range of motion in at the different joints of your ankle, knee, hip, or torso, in the frontal planes, sagittal, and transverse. So that might be helpful in those ranges. Pros and cons. So pros, range of motion testing in is functional through movement versus like a static joint assessment or passive range of motion assessments. So your whole body is involved. Cons, range of motion testing is not the actual movement that the individual would be performing in. So ideally, if you have a powerlifter who's a squatting athlete, you would have them and do range of motion assessments in their squat, right? So more movement, sport specific. And then also another con would be that older or younger populations, it might be hard to evaluate on, as this is a more advanced movement assessment. So that is it. Thank you.